Now this is a plan of Quanterness, and we see here pits in the floor of Quanterness, but also a kist. And this kist was very well built, but there's no mention of how this kist was well built. If it was lined with clay, it might as well has been water storage. And this is a big one. It's 1.5 by 0.9 meters, and there was a skeleton in there, but they put skeletons everywhere, so that doesn't mean anything. Again, because it was a big place, because as I said, this is 6 meters long, the hall only, so a lot of people could be there, so a lot of water was needed if a lot of people were in. And the other pits, yeah, again, they were dug in the rubble. But what is significant about Quanterness is that a lot of burnt material was found. I mean, in terms of twigs, of willow, of alder, and all kind of shrubs that were living in Orkney at the time. And again, that shows the domestic purpose and use of these chambers. And it is significant in this respect that that it was the first layers of the floor that gave evidence of fires. So it's the earliest period that already sees fires. And it only means that, well, the cairns were built in a sense, as far as I see it, to do without heating, but of course if they could heat it, they would. And again, from this cross-section you can see that the top of the roof was nearly level with the top of the cairn, and this happens then here in Quanterness and in Vincoy, and I think that is the reason. And it also was at Whiteford, where they found even a window in the roof, that it's very, very plausible that the roofs could be opened and were opened at certain moments. Now this is a beautiful drawing of a cross-section of Quanterness, and we see how extremely well built this whole thing is. And I would like to point again to the point that these are long rectangular chambers, and that it is possible to swing a pendulum in these chambers because of the high walls. And that is, in my view, the part of the use of these specific Maes Howard chambers. It is certainly true that in Quanterness has been found an enormous amount of bones. This is one of the few places where such a lot of bones have been found. The other one is in Isbister, also on Orkney. But still, that does not necessarily mean that these chambers were built with the purpose of having these bones inside. And besides that, it is striking, as it is called in the text, that the bones were scattered all over the place. And that, again, in my view, just shows that the bones were only important on occasion and for the people whose bones it were, but as soon as others entered these spaces, they just brushed aside the bones and made it a living space for the time being. Also, an enormous amount of animal bones were found in Quanterness, and of many animals that were very edible. Also, the Orkney vole is very well presented here, and I think they ate the orkneyvole, and maybe they even thought it was a delicatessen. Like the Romans, they ate also a certain type of rat. And as long as nobody has tasted the orkneyvole, we cannot say that it is not edible, or even then, if somebody thinks it's not edible, if you're hungry, maybe you also eat orkneyvoles. This is a magnificent chamber. This is even better than Quanterness. This is of Meeshouwer quality.